Very good morning. Warm welcome to IESA webinar series jointly organized by eInfochips and IESA Gujarat chapter. Today we have a session on Metaverse, its applications, system components, and fundamentals part 1 and part 2. So Metaverse was in the computer industries believes like the next iterations of internet that gives the virtual reality without any physical world. To know more about this metaverse and its applications, today we have Dr. Chirag Thakur, professor and head of the department Computer Engineering from LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. He has an experience of more than 24 years in the field of teaching and research. He obtained his BE degree from DD Institute of Technology, Nadiad in 1997 and ME degree in 2005 in the field of computer engineering. Dr. Thakur obtained his PhD from Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur in 2013. He is presently an associate dean and mentor for NECT MBA accreditations at Gujarat Technical University. He has published more than 50 research papers in the international research journals and conferences proceeding for the area of computer science and engineering. He has guided PG dissertations and doctoral scholars. Dr. Thakur receives books in the field of computer science and information technology. On behalf of eInfochief and IESA Gujarat chapter, I welcome you, sir, to deliver the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Dipesh sir, for your generous introduction. I take this opportunity to thank uh, the top management and the office bearers of eInfochips and the office bearers of India Electronics and Semiconductor Association, IESA, for giving this opportunity to interact with each one of you. My special acknowledgement to L&D team at eInfochips and IESA people for giving me this opportunity. We would be having two sessions on Metaverse. One today in which we'll talk about uh, fundamentals and components, the constituents which makes Metaverse a reality in technology world. Tomorrow we'll be talking about systems and applications on Metaverse. Friends, people who know science and technology, they are well aware that all the physicists across the globe, they are doing a lot of research and development to search to find multiverse. And people who are in this ICT industries, they are putting their heart and soul to realize metaverse. So with this primary briefing, let me start my presentation. I'll be talking about fundamentals and components. This is going to be my flow of presentation. Metaverse, introduction, and how we reach till this stage. That is nothing but evolution to metaverse. And then we will enter the subject with metaverse elements, technologies, and metaverse architecture. After that, I'll spend repetitive time in discussing Web 1.0 to Web 3.0 evolution, and then comparison of metaverse with Web 3.0. We'll have a couple of slides dedicated to metaverse and industry, and then we will take the constituents or the components of metaverse, that is creator economy, human interface, digital twin, non-fungible tokens, spatial or spatial computing, and immersive technologies. And then some closing slides on metaverse and education. So let us start. This is my acknowledgement as well as disclaimer slide. As a presenter, I declare here that the presentation has many content in terms of images, and majority of the images are taken from Google, and the universal Google image URL is www.images.google.com. There are certain places where I have mentioned the image source. There are many places where image source is not mentioned. In that case, the Google image URL is universally to be considered. I sincerely declare here that the images are used purely for an academic purpose, and the presenter has no intention of copyright infringement. With this declaration, let me start my session with a couple of slow quotes. This is from Neil Armstrong, and he said, research is creating new knowledge. And even in corporate world, your patent and the patent portfolio has its own very significance, whether it is mergers and acquisitions or whether it is setting the company's value in the corporate world. The second quote is regarding the academic or teaching learning part. And friends, this is an Atlas, that is Advanced Technology Lecture and Symposium series. And I really congratulate team at InfoChips and IESA to ensure that this team has really put me in front of you with such a marvelous technological platform, which is maturing, which we all know as Metaverse. So Malcolm Forbes says, the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one. And this is very, because our industry respects innovation. We don't respect tradition, as Satya Nadella rightly says. So let me enter the very primitive question of what is metaverse. So here, let us try to understand metaverse by the definition. So the metaverse is a combination of multiple elements of technology, including virtual reality, augmented reality, and video, where users live within a digital universe. So gone are the days when you used to create some digital content and just upload. Gone are the days when you were content creators and you were digitally inclined towards technology and its usage and use case applications. Gone are the days when we were a separate entity as human beings, and we are surrounded by what we call the technology paradigm and technology world. Now, through metaverse, you just try to create your own digital entity, your own virtual space, and through that virtual space, you become part of it. So I can say that it's a journey of using digital content or digital this to digital identity, and then virtual identity, and then meta identity. And that's why there's another term where I can say that meta describes it as a set of virtual space where you can create and explore with other people who aren't in the same physical space as you. And you might have watched many YouTube videos and other interactive videos where people spread it across the length and breadth of India or the world. They are in the same meeting through virtual this. During Corona, yes, these virtual meetings were there, but Meta World creates your virtual presence very much part of that meeting. And that's why this dictionary series Webster says it's the concept of highly immersive world where people gather to socialize, play, and work. So all three major human dimensions: social life, work life, and your fun life. They are all part of the immersive technological world. Let us try to again understand. So it's a seamless convergence of our physical and digital lives. We create very unified virtual community where we can work, play, relax, transact, and socialize. And the metaverse is still in the early stage of its evolution, and there is no singular, all encompassing definition to which people can turn. There are many definitions, there are many understandings. I should say there are many misunderstandings also, but all put together, there is one central theme of what metaverse is, and that is emerging. And as I said, it's in the phase of being developed, being matured, being there. But then, to all your surprise, who coined the word metaverse? There was no specific high value scientist or IT mastermind who came up with the concept of metaverse. It was an author called Neil Stephenson who wrote a sci-fi science fiction novel on 1992, and the name of his novel was Snow Crash. And the word metaverse came from the writer in this novel Snow Crash, and it describes it as a 3D virtual space in which the the entities, the characters of this novel, they actually enter this 3D virtual space. And that's how the word metaverse actually came. But why metaverse, and what metaverse to us? So here I can say that the metaverse could become the next major online destination for global users to gather, engage, shop, trade, lend, borrow, play, and work. And a very profound statement. It will act as an alternative to social media and eventually could push out the World Wide Web. It's a very big statement. It's an alternation to social media, and eventually, over a long period of time, it can be the next internet. It can push the www, a prominent internet service, out. The metaverse will transform social media and marketing ideas. A completely new way of marketing will emerge, and it will allow brands to present their stories not through conventional advertisements or flyers or brochures in a ways that were not possible earlier. It would be more about user engagement in a completely novel way. It will allow businesses to interact and connect with consumers in unique way, and it won't have any geographical limitations. And that is very big statement where consumers or prosumers will have the real life, real time, real case experience, and they will get engrossed in that as a consumer. Now, what Einstein once said, space and time, and he had his own physics definitions for space and time. When I say challenges to metaverse, let us take the very same space and time notion here and try to understand how metaverse actually addresses space and time. So when you compare the real world to a virtual world, people's perception of time can differ because they would be less aware of their bodies while when they are immersed in virtual reality. And this immersive experience will have the next level with virtual reality, augmented reality, and extended reality. And after that, they will have a completely different kind of notion for time because they are totally immersed in this world and they have a different kind of immersive experience. They spend more time in metaverse, and they will only come out for their basic physical part like sleep, eating, to come out, and then they will again enter the metaverse. Now, when I give this possibility of user experience in an altered sense of time, it is necessary for us to implement procedures that will ensure users can transition between real world and virtual world in a happily adjusted manner. Because there are many flip side to this immersive experience. It has very profound social effect, corporate effect, and we will definitely address them when we will discuss the cons of metaverse. So it's a new understanding of space and time. It's a new understanding of how users, or rather consumers, will engross their virtual experiences, their virtual bodies into metaverse, and what time they will be out. So space and time, the basic understanding and the amount will change. So in a nutshell, from this slide, the takeaway point is the quality part and the quantity part of space and time will definitely change once we completely adopt the metaverse experience. So what is metaverse for us? There are different clusters which you can see here. It has distributed. On one side, we have Web 3.0, distributed ledger technology. You have extended reality, which has the flavor of VR, AR, mixed reality. You have immersive computing, where you have 3D real-time rendering. And then when you put all these clusters together and you take the common denominator, you have very many concepts like digital twin, non-fungible token, digital identity, DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. Today's session and tomorrow's session, there are very many new terms which we will study. One of them is DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. And the second one is DeFi, which we call decentralized finance. There's a completely new notion of creator economy. And why creator economy? Because we are very much aware about the influencers, which we call internet influencers. We are quite aware with the word called content creators. And there are many content creators right now, and it's a very big number, not only in terms of number of people who are content creators, but their financial impact also. But metaverse targets creator economy. It's a decentralized structure. Presently, internet is dominated by very few entities, the big five companies, which are completely owning directly, indirectly the entire internet and internet economy. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. But this decentralized structure, in that there is a completely new understanding of creator economy. So on one side, when I say metaverse, encompasses all these clusters, and it's a common denominator. And this common denominator takes has many flavors, like digital asset marketplace, low code, no code virtualization platforms, non-fungible tokens, cryptocurrency, digital identity, and as I just explained, DAO and DeFi. When I put them together, it creates a world or vision for the world called metaverse. Now, once we understood the very basic terminology and definition of metaverse, let us try to understand the evolution of metaverse. There are 5 to 6 slides which tells the repetitive content, and we will have a different view to understand the evolution of metaverse. So let us start our discussion on the evolution part. As I said, Neil Stephenson is responsible for this term metaverse in his novel Snow Crash, and it was a virtual place where the characters of that novel they could escape a dreary totalitarian reality. In 2010, Palmer Lucy created the prototype for the Oculus Rift VR headset, that is virtual reality headset. It had a 90-degree field of vision and used computer processing power. And it was really a very revolutionary step in VR. And that's why in 2014, Facebook acquired Oculus VR with a vision to build the Oculus platform, which they eventually did, and support many more games. And this is not 22, it was October 21 when Facebook changed its name to Meta, and it suggests its efforts toward the shaping the future of the metaverse. It's a very small, concise view of the evolution of metaverse. Let us expand our view of understanding the metaverse. So let us come to this slide. Now this slide says the development of the metaverse. They are actually riding on very key enabling technologies. And friends, throughout this entire presentation, you will feel the flavor and the impact of these enabling technologies. And that's why when we discuss timeline of the key developments, you can see many entities, many companies, many products, and many technological evolutions which has impacted today's understanding and today's realization of metaverse. So let us say 2004 Facebook got founded, 2006 Roblox gaming it started. We'll try to understand the entire Roblox part in coming slides. 2009 Bitcoin got launched, and a new understanding of NFT 2014. In the same year 2014, two major events took place. Facebook buys Oculus, Google Glass got launched. 2015, Ethereum. So you can see here, Bitcoin 2009, Ethereum 2015. Decentraland, a major prominent player in Metaverse, 2015 came. Microsoft launched HoloLens in 2016, OpenSea 2018, again a very prominent entity. Facebook launched Horizon, and Facebook October 2021, Facebook rebranded itself to Meta. In the same year, Microsoft Mesh got launched, and our journey to Metaverse and Web 3.0 continues here. So let us try to understand the companies, their names, and what is associated with them in this evolution journey. So this is 90s to 2020s. So 1995, Active Worlds was set up, and this allowed users to explore 3D virtual worlds and environments that others have built, and it is still active today. In 2003, Second Life got launched, and it allows people to create their own avatars who has its own life in an online virtual world. And when it got launched in 2003, in 2013, it got its new peak with 1 million users. 2006, and we saw in earlier slides, Roblox is a game platform that got launched and game creation system, and it allows users to program games, and then the same games can be used by people to play, which were created by other users. Google launched one initiative, and in the same year it discontinued that, but that initiative, that platform was Google Lively. It was short-lived web-based virtual environment. As we know, 2017, Epic Games released the online game called Fortnite. 2017 it got launched. 2020, that is 2020, it announces $1 billion funding to support future growth and pursue its long-term vision for the metaverse. 2021, Microsoft announced Microsoft Mesh, a collaboration and communication platform, and it is aiming at unifying the holographic virtual collaboration across multiple devices. And Meta got launched in the later part of 21 with Horizon Workrooms, which was a VR workplace. It partners with Ray-Ban for connected glasses, and it announces 10,000 new jobs in Europe to create the metaverse. Now, once we understood this, now we want to understand the user impact and the business impact in the evolution of metaverse. So as we know, 2006, 3 Second Life got released. 2007, Run Escape reaches 1 million members. PlayStation Home is released on PlayStation 3. Game called Warcraft reaches 12 million subscribers. 2013 August, Riot sells out League of Legends at Staples Center for its final version. 2014, Amazon acquires Twitch for $970 million. In the same year, September, Microsoft acquires Minecraft for $2.5 billion. February 2020, Decentraland is released. 21, Roblox tops $39 billion in market cap in its IPO. And Microsoft announces its plan to acquire Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. And before that, December 4, 21, this Snoop Dogg Sandbox estate, and this is a very big, it got sold using this Bitcoin currency, 4.5 or $0.45 million. Now that is the evolution of metaverse. What about the next journey? And it's a very prominent slide from Gartner, and for that all kudos to Gartner. They said emerging metaverse, advanced metaverse, and mature metaverse. And it is predicting mature metaverse starting by the end of 29, that is 2029. Friends, here you can see that 2022, 23, 24, this is emerging metaverse timeline. And it is inspiring from Web 3.0, app-based market and technologies. 25, 26, 27, and earlier part of 28 is advanced metaverse. And it is a very smooth progression on emerging metaverse in a combinative approach. And 29 is mature metaverse, where the technology itself is maturing towards interoperable, immersive experiences in new virtual economies. This is again the evolution of AR, and we are quite aware. So let me skip this slide. And now we enter something called the entire ecosystem of metaverse. This is a very prominent slide in which we talk about technologies, principles on one side, and affordances and challenges of metaverse on the other side. Let us take technologies, and it is not limited, because in coming slides you will see the entire fulcrum of technologies which supports the very own existence and evolution of metaverse. So here only 3: VR, AR, and MR. Principles, yes, metaverse is very sound on the principles: interoperability, openness, hardware agnostic, because many sites, applications, platforms, and in that case hardware agnostic, and network centric. decentralized network. On the affordances, immersion, embodiment, presence, and identity construction. And on the challenges, obviously, yes, immersive experiences, humans, individual consumers, or group of people spending a lot of time in that immersive experience. Physical well-being is a challenge. Psychology, you are very you have very enjoyable, enriching experience where you are in the virtual world, where you are engrossed in metaverse. What about when you come out of it? The psychological implications, and there are many green signals, there are many red signals towards it. The ethical part of the metaverse, and obviously the security and the privacy part. So these are certain challenges which we are going to address in the next slides. What is the augmented and virtual reality? What's their role in metaverse? So metaverse as technology would merge various augmented reality and VR characteristics. We know that metaverse apps space and time would resemble those of the actual world. We are also aware that there are visual, auditory, and dynamic exchanges which will occur, and it will actually trigger our engagement in the physical environment. And this switch from physical to virtual world, virtual to physical world, there are many visual, auditory, and dynamic exchanges which is going to take place. Metaverse platform is believed to improve our digital cooperation. And I give you one anecdote here. It is like your journey from a single doc. There is one team and they're working on one single document or presentation. And from that journey, shared docs, shared presentation. Same way, all your corporate, personal, social activities, which you are doing either as an individual or as a group, if you take it to the next level, that is called digital cooperation. So digital cooperation would provide a comparable experience in the virtual environment. And it's a completely different level of virtual experience. And that virtual experience can only be felt the way right now as a professional, as a corporate professional, or as a student, you feel when you work on Google Doc or shared presentation. From your previous years experience of creating your own presentations, and if a team is working on one presentation, there are many versions of that presentation, or there are very many versions of the document. From that shared document, shared presentation, from shared to digital cooperation. But yes, this little tiny example can make you feel the leap, the jump you are going to make from your conventional digital setup, from your conventional digital physical engagement to digital cooperation or digital virtual cooperation and engagement. What is metaverse? In what forms metaverse come to you? They come in the form of avatars. Through metaverse avatar, what you address is more than just a number. It is not your Aadhaar number. It is not your PAN number. It's creating the entire digital identity. And this digital identity is capable of owning assets and virtues. And that identity in turn is owned and controlled completely by you. That means you are an individual. You as a human being has your own physical identity. You have your citizenship identity, which is denoted by Aadhaar number, PAN number, your bank account number, and other related details, your ration card number. And then there is digital identity, your user ID, your passwords, your biological identity. your fingerprint, your retina. Now all put together makes your digital identity. But Metaverse gives you a full-fledged digital identity in terms of avatars. And you own that avatar and you control that. So virtual, physical or digital, virtual to digital and digital to personal. So you completely own that avatars. There are combined benefits of delegated proof of stake in terms of honest participation with Metaverse ETP proven POW and POS. There are performance part because this Metaverse DNA will incorporate many industry leading transaction speeds and it will create foundation for a completely decentralized financial ecosystem. And right now that DeFi, decentralized financial ecosystem, is not there, but it will definitely emerge out of this metaverse implementation. And it will not have potentially and probably no bottlenecks and congestion. As we have seen earlier also, interoperability. So it will come as a standard and it will offer other blockchains as an avenue to improve your scalability part. And it will potentially enable cross-platform decentralized application and exchanges. And through this, what you create is in the next slide. And this is the major verticals on which the entire world of metaverse can be visualized. It's a very holy combinations of people, data, processes, and things. And when I say things, people think about IoTs and all this. When I say processes, uh, your corporate practices, your industry processes, everything comes into picture. Data. It's a data-driven human society now. Data, and that's why we say data is the new oil and AI is the combustion engine. And if we say that, we can say that China is the new Saudi Arabia. If data is the new oil, then China is the new Saudi Arabia. So data and people, more than 8 billion people, their individual identities, their virtual presence in metaverse. And when they all have the win-win situation, or rather the golden handshake, people, data, processes, and things, and they, as important stakeholders, their very own curated existence in metaverse. And that's how the entire world of metaverse actually emerges. So far, our understanding has given us this very basic inferences that how we are going to create the world called metaverse. Now, once you understood it, let us extend our understanding. The created metaverse would have augmented life, full immersion, and isolated generation. Let us take them one by one and try to understand. Augmented life is a new distribution channel and it emerged with similarities to e-commerce of today, but it will have augmented buying behavior. Why augmented buying behavior? Because instead of just buying a product from Amazon or any other e-commerce site, I can put myself in that product. Primary primitive experiences, all these e-commerce sites have start showing you whether it is a fabric purchase or whether it is a furniture purchase. But when you augment this buying behavior and when you visualize it through the lens of meta world, it will have a different meaning, and that different meaning will lead you as an individual consumer to a new understanding called augmented buying behavior. And that augmented buying behavior has a lens called AR. And AR, augmented reality, it's not virtual reality. Your physical whereabouts, your physical existence, it augmented. It has new value addition. It has new identity addition with your existing world. And that's what we call augmented reality. And the AR becomes a way of life. And there is an ongoing race to develop and use physical devices that offer a new window to the digital world. And now your physical devices, you and the digital world, they will no longer remain three separate overlapping clusters. It is more of intermingling of them. It is more of merging of them. And this merging will give you one kind of experience, which we call full immersive experience. So let us try to understand the second pillar of that, full immersion. Now, what is full immersive experience? There are very many people who spend full work days and even non-working hours in the metaverse. And they take a very short breaks only for the most basic human needs like eating, sleeping, and other daily activities. There are every aspect of human life and is replicated online, including your emotions and your human mechanisms, which will drive the same chemical response as traditional non-meta stimuli. And when I speak this, it is, I understand, as audience, as listeners, it is really difficult for you to visualize or experience. But friends, believe me, this will create a, or rather trigger a completely new, entirely new economy. And this will have its own rivalry with existing ones, inclusive of entire secondary markets. The third pillar, because when we said people, data, the last slide, isolated generation. There are challenges of the metaverse, and this actually challenges the Web3 decentralized model, and it becomes very difficult to sustain because there is a handful of consumers and they are fully immersed in the metaverse. And there are some companies also that prefer to engage heavily in this meta world experience. And it will give you a truly new economy. And it's not yet born. It's not completely existence. And it is not completely non-existence also. So it is like the Dvait, the dual part of the human spiritual existence, which we call Dvaitavad, Advaitavad. So Dvait. So that's what I just try to make you understand isolated generation. So there is a completely new, albeit narrow customer and segment emerges with buying limitations associated with the cohort. Now what this gives us, there are 7 core technologies that is going to shape what we discussed in the last slide. But friends, it is not going to get limited to 7 only. And that you are going to witness in the coming slides. So the key technologies that started enabling this meta world are obviously VR/AR, AI/ML, blockchain, IoT, brain-computer interface. One very prominent area of research for many research organizations or high-end corporate this 3D reconstruction and 5G technologies. So let us try to understand the technology part. AI, cloud, 5G, 6G, blockchain, Internet of Things, VR, AR, MR, that means extended reality. So this extended reality setup has very many flavors or role of IoT, blockchain on one side, AI, cloud on other side, or the telecommunication network like 5 and 6G. But they are not as it is evidently shown on in the slide. It is almost merged, overlapping, intermingling. So let us have that in the next slide. So friends, here in this slide, you can see on one side, blockchain is there, artificial intelligence and immersive digital space is there. You've got real-time communication, which is being supported by this 5G, 6G network and network technologies, and mixed reality. What does it give you? AI mixed reality gives you perception AI. Mixed reality and immersive digital space gives you digital immersive user experience. Real-time communication and AI gives you smart agent facilitated communication. And immersive digital space and real-time communication put together gives you avatar-based social interaction. And when I say real-time, mixed reality and AI put together, they give you generative sensory environments. And when I say real-time, immersive and mixed reality put together, they give you this meta presence or virtual reality presence. And on top of all this, your new world is created, which we call metaverse. And that's why when I started my session, I said all the theoretical physicists and the entire physics community, they are very much interested in finding out and proving the existence of multiverse. But all the technological world, all the technology people and their supportive technologies, when they all put together in a rightful, positive manner, all this technology overlapping and intermingling gives you the very basic evolution or existence or birth of a new entity, a new world called metaverse. And once you understand this, let us try to understand the components of the metaverse. And there are three very basic questions which we ask, and we'll try to understand the enabler technology component or the enabler technology that will help us to realize these three basic questions. So first basic question is what it takes to build the metaverse. As a learned learners, we all are interested in these three basic questions to understand the new technology paradigm called metaverse. So number one, what it takes to build the metaverse. Second question, what it takes to navigate the metaverse. And number three, what it takes to experience the metaverse. So when I say building part, the support technologies or the foundation on which this can be answered, this can be realized are at a very base level, at a very raw level, it is AI and IoT. Onto which I'll build two major components: geospatial mapping and digital twins. And what they will give me? They will give me 3D data capture on one side and user interactivity in the form of user experience and user interface. And through this, it takes these technologies and these frameworks to build the metaverse. Now, if it is built, what it takes to navigate the metaverse. And when I want to navigate through it, avatars, digital currency, and virtual economy. That is the human side, the individual side. At industry perspective, digital twins and 3D graphics visualization. And how do you activate them? How do you realize them? So the realization of avatars or digital twins or 3D graphics visualization, I need two ubiquitous network. Friends, you are quite aware that there are two networks which are ubiquitous in nature. And when I say ubiquitous, the dictionary meaning of ubiquitous is universally spread. One is telecommunication network. And in this slide, you can see 5G or any other low latency, high bandwidth connectivity. If 5G supports or claims 10 Gbps, 6G will give you 100 Gbps. So that is telecommunication network, the foundation through which we would be able to navigate, we will be able to connect the entire world in that virtual experience, in that immersive experience. The another is internet. That is the second ubiquitous network which is universally spread, and that is internet. And this internet experience is realized through two major developments: cloud computing and edge computing. And you will use this avatars, digital twins, and all this through this enabler technology or implementation to navigate the metaverse. Now we come to the third question. If it is being built, if I can navigate, if when I say I, my avatar, my virtual experience and navigate through this metaverse, how am I going to experience the metaverse? Yes, obviously through my legacy devices. And that is the true challenge, to ensure that through my mobile phone or through PC, if I can give this. The second one is augmented reality and virtual reality, through which I'll experience the metaverse. Now, once it is there, let us define the 6 characteristics of the open metaverse. And please note here, throughout this presentation, that you will also find a couple of occasions where we will redefine or refine our metaverse characteristics. So let us have the first slide on the open metaverse characteristics. Self-sovereignty is community driven, speciality, persistency, decentralization, and interoperability. These are 6 primitive characteristics of the open metaverse. But if I want to build the metaverse, I'll talk about level 1 to level 4. And in this case, you can very easily see the slide. Level 4 is the realization of the metaverse. But as it is said that Rome was not built in a day, metaverse cannot be built without very strong support of technologies and developments and R&D also. So level 1 is about foundation and internet. It talks about network protocols, storage technologies, internet, web evolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. It also talks about various standards and tools, infrastructures and hardware developments. Then now we come to level 2, virtualization and computing technologies. Here we talk about virtual platforms, cloud edge computing. When I say virtual platforms, hypervisors and all this, and all these virtual platforms which supports us to realize AR, VR, mixed reality, programming engines, and blockchain as a technology. Then we came to level 3, content creation and management, where we have asset management, user virtualization, socialization, security and privacy. Here, cybersecurity, social networking sites, all this are understood. And now we come to real life experience in the form of metaverse. Once we understood this very basic notion of how to climb the ladder to reach the metaverse, let us have the listing of the elements of metaverse. And here categorically I say listing. So digital currency, digital commerce and marketplace, non-fungible tokens, infrastructure, device independence, gaming, digital assets is on one vertical part. In the same verticals, concerts, social and entertainment events, online shopping, workplace, social media, digital humans, natural language processing. And when I say NLP, natural language processing, as well as natural language understanding, where GPT-4 is making a very profound impact in the area of AI and ML. So same list you can see here, but if I put them in a listing form, you can see here the elements of metaverse: digital currency, NFT, social media, gaming, device independence, all. So all these three slides have the same content, but are different visual presentations for which I just kept them. But this elements will it give me to meet the mega trends. And what are the mega trends? It says social trends, traveler trends, economic trends, and technological trends. If I say economic trends, there are 3 points to consider. And right now we are just observing them as single entities. Full digital economy, supply chain transformation, and flattened business organizations. And it will have medium impact. Technology trends has three: autonomous electric vehicles, growth supported by AI and 5G, and it will have medium impact. Urban air mobility, UAM, it will have high impact. It is in the range of high impact. We also have societal trends, and the societal trends has low impact, medium impact, shifting staff culture and great resignations, and that's what we observed during pandemic time. Sustainability, privacy, digital identity rights, and control. On a traveler trends, very uh, very surprising elements are seen. The aging traveler, the millennial and generation Z traveler, and the multimodal traveler. These are going to be the mega trends which are going to impact the human existence starting from 2023 for the decade which will end in 2033. But for that, to understand this mega trend, we have to understand this metaverse architecture. And this metaverse architecture has digital twins and related infrastructure. It is offered by many companies which are mentioned here. And this architecture has many layers. And these layers are human interface, AR, VR, blockchain decentralization, AI spatial computing, discovery, virtual experiences, and all this. So let us try to take them one by one as they are placed on one another. The bottommost layer of the metaverse architecture is infrastructure. It has the material science, the materials, GPUs, MEMS, 7 nanometer to 1.4 nanometer circuitry. It will have a very profound impact on the existence of devices which will enable us to enter the metaverse. 7 nanometer to 1.4 nanometer. That's the feature size through which we'll develop the future electronic circuitries and the microprocessor technology. Cloud, 6G, Wi-Fi 8 and 5G technology. And this will encompass the infrastructure layer of the metaverse. Then we have human interface layer, which will be impacted by mobile economy, smart glasses, wearables, haptic, gestures, voice, and the neural setup. Then another layer is decentralization, edge computing, AI agents, microservices, blockchain. Then we have spatial computing. And the players which will realize this layer, 3D engines, mixed reality, multitasking, UI geospatial mapping, and all this. Then we have creator economy, a completely new way of influencing or influencer market. It will be realized through design tools, asset markets, workflow and commerce. Discovery part, ad networks, social curation, ratings, stores and agents. And then experience, the highest of the layers which will take us to this experience called metaverse through games, social, esports, theater and shopping. But these layers are just kept over them. But there are many dots through which you can realize these layers. So let us visit the next slide just to understand them. This is I call technology slides, in which infrastructure, human interface, asset production, community, marketing and user onboarding is there. But this is an intermediary slide. The slide which I was talking about, where we can connect the dots of these every single layer and just try to see how they are overlapped over each other. It is through this. Here we are exploring these 7 layers of the metaverse. Friends, you can see the infrastructure layer in the same 5G, 6G, Wi-Fi 8, cloud, 7 nanometer to 1.4 nanometer, MEMS, GPUs, materials. When you say decentralization, same AI agents, microservices, blockchain edge computing is there. But this slide actually gives you better understanding of how to connect dots of this individual technology or corporate development, which will realize this individual layer. This slide also highlights the relationship of these individual layers with the layers above it and the layers beneath it. If you understand this, let us extend these 7 layers to 10 layers of metaverse. And this 10 layers of metaverse has 4 major components for which the slide is kept for you. B, C, B and A. There are 10 layers. Layer number 8, virtual world. Layer number 9, applications. Layer number 10, content. That's what we are going to create. So these were 7 layers: technology, enabling technology, impactfulness. But here, the actual realization. So when I say D, I say enablers. So what are going to be the enablers? Payments and monetizations, identity, security, privacy and governance. That is enabler part. C, infrastructure and hardware. So we have got infrastructure, devices, OS and accessories as part of it. Number 4 and number 5. When I say platform, it has 6 and 7. 7 is access and discovery. 6 is creators and 3D development platforms. And when I say A, content and experience, it has virtual world also, applications also, and content also. Once we understood this, again we visit elements of metaverse. So we had 3 slides where listing of elements of metaverse is there. Now we are refining our elements of metaverse. So now we say, what are the elements? Online shopping, events, concerts, social and entertainment events, creator gig economy, workplaces, connected immersive space technologies, connected space infrastructure, natural language processing, digital assets, decentralize these organizations and decentralize finance, DeFi, gamification, mobile desktop Unity device, ID profiles in 3D and avatars, non-fungible token certifications, virtual immersive commerce, virtual interactive marketplace, and immersive AR, VR, social avatars technology. So this is a refined set of our elements of metaverse. And to realize that this is the metaverse technical stack. In this, technologically or officially speaking, I should start from the bottom one. But because very many of you are industry professionals and developers, we are aware of the first two layers: immersive apps, decentralized app, collaborative apps, digital metaverse tools, immersive platform AR, VR, intelligent platform, IoT platform. But my point to highlight here is distributed cloud and decentralized cloud. We are quite aware with hybrid cloud and distributed cloud. Let us try to put enough focus to understand decentralized cloud. We are well aware with digital assets. Let us put enough focus to understand digital content lifecycle and how it is going to impact the metaverse technical stack. And once you understand this decentralized cloud and its coexistence with distributed cloud, once you understand digital content lifecycle and its relationship with digital assets, it would be very easy to re-understand first two stacks. That is blockchain ledger, intelligence platform, IoT platforms, giving you digital twins, and then you can easily understand the digital metaverse tools, decentralized apps, and immersive apps. And once we understand this entire technical stack, I could have spent more time here, but because of the time, let me skip to the next one. Metaverse use cases in various industries. Friends, what are those industry segments or industry verticals where very many metaverse use cases can be discussed? And tomorrow, the entire session is dedicated on real life applications of metaverse and use cases of metaverse. But I'm just giving you the industry verticals: IoT, AR, VR, AI, 3D reconstructions, blockchain and cryptography, so far as use cases are concerned. Again, we are visiting this 7 core technologies, which the slide we have already, but why I have kept that slide? It is only because of this. You can see the emerging metaverse, and it has given the range also: 6 to 8 years, 3 to 6 years, 1 to 3 years, and now they are. So now what we have? We have 4, rather 5 points of considerations: decentralization, content and context part, sensing, computing and infrastructure. If let us take computing and infrastructure first, what we have here is sensor fusion, computer vision, spatial computing, hyperscale edge computing, and 6G in the infrastructure part. If we take sensing, we have sensor fusion, multi-factor biometric sensing, which will be realized in 3 to 6 years, and in 6 to 8 years, spatial mapping will be realized. If you say 1 to 3 years, graph technologies at its full length will be realized. Along with that, in 1 to 3 years, the full realization of digital twin. And then in coming 3 to 6 years, the emerging technology impact radar shows you digital twin. And then 3 to 6 years, synthetic data. In fact, it is said that after 2030, 75% would be synthetic data, driven AI, and digital twin of the person in 6 to 8 years. AR cloud in 6 to 8 years. If we say experiences, 1 to 3 years augmented reality, 3 to 6 years all AI avatars, virtual reality, and mixed reality. But if we take decentralization, in 3 to 6 years, the impactfulness will be measured in the form of DAOs, that is decentralized autonomous organizations and decentralized identity, DI, and non-fungible tokens, and Web3. That is decentralization of Web3, DAOs, DIs, and NFTs. Now, once we understood this, let us try to discuss the attributes, the core attributes of Metaverse. Be synchronous and live, be persistent, a fully functioning autonomy, an experience, and wide range of contributors. This is just for fun. I have kept it here. These are the characteristics, social and interactive, made of user-generated content, easily accessed, bridge between the real and digital worlds. It has vibrant economies and persistence. And let us try to elaborate the understanding of the characteristics through the lens of Metaverse. So when I say availability, Metaverse will be available for any number of simultaneous participations or participants. When I say interoperability, participants can use their virtual assets across different sites within the Metaverse. Autonomy, the Metaverse participants can buy and sell goods and services to other users. Synchronicity, participants can interact with others in real time as they do in the real world. So these are the characteristics. Participants can access the content in a metaverse at any time and from anywhere. Understanding the characteristics, the attributes, now we arrive at the flip side of metaverse. Advantages is on the left side. Blockchain suitability, digital twinning, remote interoperability, and immersive environment. But drawbacks when you focus, when you look at the right side of the slide, real world utility is questionable. Substandard user experience, because all the meta development will not have the best of the technology and standards to be followed. So there would be many cases where substandard user experience would be observed. Dependence on fast internet. What if you have entered the meta world, which is only possible on 6G or 5G, high-end 5G? And what if your bandwidth suddenly decreases? It has very high dependence on fast internet. And there would be many cases of data breach and privacy concern, because no standard protocols and standards have emerged so far. It is still in the maturing phase. It is still in the developing phase of metaverse. The other disadvantage would be the equipments used in virtual reality are very expensive, and it is consist of very complex technology. In VR environment, we cannot move by our own, like in the real world. In your real world, it is your physical ability through which you move. In VR, you cannot move by your own energy. So let us continue our cons of metaverse education. Corporatization of the entire digital world, unregulated freedom, undistinguished idea of self, lack of contact with real world, because as you dive deep into the meta experiences, you are losing contact with the real world. And there are certain technological challenges and difficulties which are a major con of the meta world. But still, what are the benefits of metaverse? And when I say benefits, meta world is not only going to give you the individual, social, personal, corporate benefits. What are going to be benefits of meta world to the development of these core enabler technologies? And that's why you can see the existence of many technology also in this slide. AI, ML, AR, VR, uh, along with that IoT, blockchain support, efficiency, management, lack of risk, because uh, who we are, a lot many training can happen in which there is minimal risk. The person has the best of the driving experience or cargo handling experience without the risk. AR, VR, better assistance. Through this, you can create the better assistance platforms. Now we come to the, it is it is told the next level of internet, the next internet, the next evolution of internet. I have intentionally kept this slide, which is gloomy in nature, and we will have the same slide after some slides where you can see the realization of the next generation of internet through metaverse. So true metaverse, infrastructure layer, foundation layer, and content layer. And let us keep it over here. There is a forecast for this new frontier. And our agency called Bloomberg forecast that it would be from 800 billion in 2025, it will reach to 2.5 trillion by 2020. It will create exponential growth or witness exponential growth of creator economy. It will incorporate not only the sale of virtual goods, but employment of architects, artists, designers to create and outfit digital spaces. And these are the numbers which says, or rather which proves the previous slide. Number of transactions so far, every year it is $54 billion. So every year we spend $54 billion on virtual goods, almost double the amount spent on buying online music. $60 billion for socializing. They are sent daily on Roblox. We have created the GDP of nearly $800 million to creators by creating $650 million Second Life GDP in 2021. Total NFTs own is the value is $41 billion. It has market cap of $41 billion. Very substantial numbers in terms of, so I can say metaverse is even today it's a $1 billion economy, and how it can make a jump to $1 trillion economy. So what will help you to achieve that metaverse $1 trillion economy? Let us have three industry segments and look at them. So what is going to be that industry? So it is going to be the industry which will has the greatest potential to make metaverse a $1 trillion economy. Consumer metaverse, enterprise metaverse, and industry metaverse. Industrial metaverse will have that potential. And you can see this sharp rising curve here from 2021 to 2030. With enterprise metaverse, it's not that much sharp. With consumer metaverse, it's not that much sharp. But industrial metaverse, through digital twin and simulation and industrial extended reality, this revenue can reach exponential growth of, it can surpass $100 billion worth. And that is why this slide has the ecosystem of this consumer and industry together. So we have got physical world and we have got virtual world. We have got consumer metaverse having a golden handshake with industrial metaverse. And let us try to understand what are those business segments or consumer segments through which this golden handshake can realize the ecosystem of consumer and industrial metaverse. On consumer side, we have art shows, games, and social events. We also have concerts, short videos, and movies. On the industrial side, we have healthcare industry, education, transportation, and we have virtual services and virtual community management. And it will create or generate new industries to create the real value. And this is a very prominent financial slide where metaverse market from 2019 to 2030 is shown. Uh, it shows 45.4% of global market revenue and the CAGR of 43 percentage. As an organization, as an enterprise, if you are building a metaverse strategy, just have a look at these 7 steps. Number 1, if you are a metaverse consultant or if you are leading that group of enterprise to develop the metaverse strategy, these 7 steps will empower you to realize that mandate. Number 1, you have to consider the overall brand strategy in context with the metaverse economy. So branding strategy in line or in sync with metaverse economy. Then very carefully, there are many use cases for your industry segment for branding purpose. You have to choose an enterprise use case. Now, once you choose that enterprise use case, you determine the desired business outcome that you are targeting, that you are aiming at the business outcome. Once realized, you design and build reusable assets for that metaverse enterprise economy. You identify an experience strategy and engagement modality, how my consumers, how my end users is going to engage in my user experiences. You apply analytics, automation, and AI to scale that engagement modality and experience strategy. And then the last step is to use insights to power the data-driven digital network. A very profound statement. Data-driven digital network. Once you do that, you can really build a metaverse strategy for your enterprise. What are the 9 meta trends that shapes the metaverse? And this is again for fun purpose. On one side, you have more social, on another side, you have more technological. And I'll just read virtual mainstreaming, challenges by open platforms, walled garden ecosystem, low-code platforms, rise of cybernetics and machine intelligence. It has blockchain adoption on technology front, accelerating distributed networks and simulating reality. These are 9 mega trends that will shape the metaverse. And now we come to the next generation of internet. This next generation of internet, I had a very gloomy picture. If you recall a slide before 4 to 5 slides, where I said I have intentionally kept it gloomy. Now I have made it more clear here. And it says the next generation internet. So metaverse has the potential to create the next generation of internet. And that was gloomy one. This is very clear one. Let us take the layers. The bottommost layer is called foundation layer of the internet. The internet helps people connect with each other without limitation. Then comes the infrastructure layer, hardware industry, technologies for builders of the apps or platforms, and blockchain to create a sharing ecosystem. Then we have content layer, where platforms provide us with multiple viewable worlds and true metaverse would be built. That's the top of the pyramid. Virtual space exists alongside the real world. And what it will give you? Economic system, unlimited creation, and real life experience. And this is going to be the next generation internet. But then your obvious question is how to realize that, or how we have reached so far. So let us discuss the history of the internet, or rather the evolution of the internet. So history of the internet is Web 1, Web 2 and Web 3, and there are almost 7 to 8 slides. After this, it will tell us the evolution to Web 3.0, and then we will compare Web 3.0 with Metaverse. So when I say Web 1, basic HTML and emails, Web 2, interactive information centric, and Web 3.0, that is user centric and decentralized. So if I say evolution of the internet, so far we have witnessed 3 waves: search wave, e-commerce wave, and then proliferation of social networking sites, wave number 3. And now we are rushing towards decentralized e-commerce through metaverse. So let us elaborate this Web 1, 2 and 3. So evolution of Web 1, 2 and 3 has seen the capital investment capex of $1.1 trillion when it was Web 1.0, $5.9 trillion when Web 2.0, and Web 3.0 is being supported from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Maker and Ocean. Web 2.0 dominated social networks, or dominated by social network, mobile first economy, or mobile first always on cloud driven computing. If we just elaborate that, Web 1.0 was green shoots of e-commerce, desktop browser access and dedicated infrastructure. And Web 2.0 is almost $5.9 trillion economy, that is capital investments, and it is cloud driven computing. Now, if we compare this Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, a very heavy content slide is here. Let us take example of virtual worlds. In Web 2.0, Second Life, Roblox, Fortnite, World of Warcraft. In Web 3.0, Decentraland, The Sandbox, Somnium Space, and Crypto Voxels. If we focus on platform characteristics and compare Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, there are 4 comparative points. Organizational structure. Web 2.0 would be centrally owned, and decisions are based on adding shareholder value. That's where trillion-dollar economy and all this comes into picture. But when we say organizational structure in Web 3.0, it would be community governed, generally through a foundation of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. There would be native tokens are issued and enabled participation in governance, and decisions are based on user consensus. When we compare Web 2.0 and Web 3.0 with data storage parameter, it is centralized versus decentralized. When we compare them, platform format, Web 2.0 has PC and console driven virtual reality, augmented reality hardware, and it is realized through mobile and app development. Web 3.0 would definitely have PC, but would be more of VR, AR hardware and mobile app, which will be coming soon. So far as payment infrastructures are concerned, Web 2.0 would be traditional payments, credit card, debit card. Web 3.0 crypto wallets. Continue this discussion. And now our point to consider is user interaction. And this user interaction has again 5 parameters of comparison between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0. So far as digital assets ownerships are concerned, Web 2.0 is marked with leased within platform where purchased. Web 3.0 is owned through non-fungible tokens. Digital assets portability in Web 2.0 it is locked within platform. In Web 3.0 that portability would be transferable. Content creators, Web 2.0 game studios, developers, 3.0 community. Activities, socialization, multiplayer games, game streaming, competitive games and all this like esports. In Web 3.0, it will be play to earn games, experiences. Identity in platform avatar versus self-sovereign and interoperable identity. Anonymous private key based identities. And when we take the major point of commercials and compare 2 parameters, payments and content revenues, we can say that in platform virtual currencies were there, like Robux is the currency of Roblox. In Web 3.0, it would be cryptocurrencies and tokens. When I say content revenue, presently the platform or app store earns 30% of every game purchase and 70%, that is 30-70 or 40-60. 70% goes to the developer. In Web 3.0, it is going to be the peer-to-peer kind of setup, decentralized. Developers or content creators directly earn revenue from sales. So users, gamers can earn through play or participation in platform governance and royalties on secondary traders of NFTs to creators. So let us try to compare Web 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0 in a very primitive way. Web 1.0, static web, interactive web powered by AI. Web 1.0 is HTML is the key technology. 2.0, obviously, dynamic HTML, JavaScript, and supportive technology. Web 3.0, blockchain, AIML. In Web 1.0, it was first web browsers like Netscape Navigator was introduced. It was obstructive advertising. Web 2.0 is dominance of interactive platforms and websites like Facebook, Airbnb, Instagram, Twitter. So in a nutshell, social and digital sites. Interactive advertising. Web 3.0 will have decentralized data networks and enabling users to own their own data. And here, the advertising would be targeted advertising based on user behavior. Data is stored on individual website servers. In Web 2.0, a very alarming signal. Data is owned by large tech giants, the big 5, I should say. Web 3.0, data is distributed across users. And that is why when I continue this discussion, Web 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0, you can say the left part of the presentation. Texting, social multimedia to Metaverse. How do you achieve it? Read only, read write own. This is a major change. Static text, interactive content, you can see here. Static text, interactive content, virtual economies. Web 1.0 companies, Web 2.0 marked by platforms. Web 3.0 would be networks. Web 1.0 personal computers, cloud and mobile, blockchain cloud. Web 1.0 decentralized, Web 2.0 was again centralized. Now Web 3.0 would be decentralized. So I can say that from 1989 till date, if you compare this web evolution with 4 major comparative points, marketing, content, architecture and type, you can say in type part, read-only web, read-write web, read-write plus control web or own web. Home pages, social networks to IoT, dedicated infrastructure to cloud computing, centralized data to edge computing, centralized data to decentralized data. If you say content wise, from wikis to blogs to tagging to live videos. And when I say marketing and content, page views, that is Web 1.0. Pay per click, that is Web 2.0. And behavioral engagement, that is Web 3.0. Behavioral advertising, that is Web 3.0. Semantic search, that is Web 3.0. So that is behavior engagement. So once we understood the entire evolution of Web 1.0 to Web 3.0 and very many parameters which has really impacted this evolution, we can switch to architectural comparison of Web 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. When we say architectural layer, if we say information, structured, SQL driven. Unstructured is Web 2.0, that is big data and enabling technology, where Hadoop and all this comes into picture. But Web 3.0 will be dominated and is dominated by distributed ledger technology, blockchain driven technology. When I say computation, Web 1.0 was dominated by situated server. Web 2.0, it is dominated or it is realized through cloud computing, through 3G technology, 4G technology, where we say gigabit Ethernet, multi-gigabit Ethernet, and cloud data centers. Web 3.0 would have distributed computing via AI and 5G and edge computing technology. When I say interaction, Web 1.0 desktop browser, mobile touch screen, that is Web 2.0, and that's what we are witnessing every day, day in and day out. Web 3.0 would be wearable AR, VR, voice and IoT devices. It is more of, so Web 1.0 was click and type. Web 2.0 was touch and swipe. And Web 3.0 would be show and tell. So these architectural layers of comparison from Web 1.0 to 2.0 and 3.0 gives you a very clear picture of the entire web evolution, the parameters, the comparative points, and the technology that has enabled this, like situated server to cloud computing, from cloud computing to distributed computing. But when I say distributed computing, powered by or powered through AI, 5G plus edge technology. When I say touch and swipe, it is from touch and swipe to show and tell. When I say SQL, when I take the information part, SQL to big data to blockchain, distributed ledger technology. And once this is very clear, this slide I have kept from database to data bank. Everything will give you that banking part. And that's why this is the summarization of what we have discussed in last 4 slides. This is summary just to make you understand Web 3.0. So Web 1.0 read-only web, interactive internet, Web 2.0. Web 1.0 is not interactive. Most people were consumers of the content. Almost 5 to 7% people they were producer of the content. The rest users were all consumers. But Web 2.0, blog, social media, and video distribution, anyone can be an information provider. So it's a contributor community. The web community is contributor community. Web 2.0, there are big tech companies own our personal data, like our ID, password, browsing history, payment information, our content. They all are owned by big tech companies. The major fives, their symbols are here. Web 3.0 would be, we can protect our own personal data. How? Because it is driven by blockchain without central database and administrator. Once you understand this, Web 2.0, where payment would be by bank transfer. And every country has a role. There is a role for dollar, franc, yen, country, and their financial implications, their exchange rates, and all this. Web 3.0, it is send crypto peer to peer, and various forms and formats of these tokens, bitcoins, and all this will dominate. And when they dominate, Goldman Sachs says that Web 3.0 would have AR and Metaverse as the new OS. Now, this is a very big statement. Just try to understand. AR and Metaverse as the new operating system. There will be rise of privacy, decentralized web, anonymity, creator economy, and local experience and localized global commerce. Now, because we want to compare Web 3.0 and Metaverse, let us try to compare Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, an apple to apple comparison. So when I say effectuation as the parameter, Web 2.0 is read or write. Web 3.0 is portable. When I say focus, community versus individual. Web 2.0 is community driven. Web 3.0 individual. When I say homepage, homepages, Web 3.0, yes, your blogs. Web 3.0, waves, it will be waves. Content owning, centralized versus decentralized. When I say apps, Web 2.0 has many web portals, web platforms. Web 3.0 would be smart apps. Marketing strategy, and that's where Google AdSense and all this makes money. Cost per click, that is Web 2.0 driven marketing strategy. Web 3.0 would be user engagement. How much user engagement you bring to your meta world experience or your immersive experience, that will dictate the financial norms and the marketing strategy. So marketing strategy would be completely keeping the user engagement in mind. And that is why advertising will have a shift from interactive in Web 2.0 to behavioral in Web 3.0. And that's why the tools are different. In Web 2.0, it is Wikipedia. In Web 3.0, it will be semantic web. And the technologies in Web 2.0 is XML, RSS, and all this. It will be OWL, RDF, RDFS in Web 3.0. And that's why Web 3.0 has a different set of impact, like transparency, single profile, continuous service, data control, and privacy. Web 3.0, semantic web, metaverse, 3D graphics, connectivity, blockchain, digital identity, micropayments, AI and big data, and decentralization. So these are going to be the industry verticals, the features, the ingredients of Web 3.0. So it is rather the other way. This will trigger how Web 3.0 will shape. So let us discuss Web 3.0 versus Metaverse. That's the detailed comparison. So let us try to understand Metaverse and versus 3.0, Web 3.0. So when we say definition, what is Web 3.0? It is the new internet iteration aims to establish a decentralized online network in which users own and control the material and assets they create. That is Web 3.0. What is Metaverse? A digital environment that combines digitally enhanced physical reality with physically persistent virtual environments. What is going to be the application scope? Throughout the web, it is applicable. In Metaverse, it is still under development and the potential areas are still under scrutiny. What kind of applications Metaverse is going to support? Virtual gaming, health, surgery, 3D training, social events. What it is going to support? Democratic system, permissionless network like crypto world. What is going to be the target? Blockchain control, peer-to-peer network facility. With Web 3.0, it is VR, AR, and XR world facility. Technically, Web 3.0 would be powered by decentralized autonomous organizations, AI and blockchain. It is powered by Wi-Fi 6, 6G, spatial computing, creator economy. So when I say development stages of metaverse, the development stages of metaverse from up till 2020, it was primitive society. The technological rudiments of the metaverse emerge. Right now, we are in the farming stage. The primary metaverse form lens. The metaverse is a blue ocean, just exploring. Oligopoly. Very limited companies will dominate the market. A few metaverse giants appear, creating an oligopoly. In the next slide, I'll give you the definition of oligopoly. That is 2031 to 2050. After the farming stage. For 20 years, it will be oligopoly. 2050 to 2070. Looking far future. Symbiosis of virtual and real. Humans use the virtual world to the same extent as they are using the real world today. And then game of VR. 2071 onwards. The game of the wisdom of virtual humans versus human control the entire metaverse and existence. What is oligopoly? It is an economic situation in which a relatively small number of large companies dominate the world. Now you can read oligopoly 2031 to 2050. A few metaverse giants appear and create an oligopoly. Now once you understand this, what is going to be the potential risk? Number one is capital manipulations. This is going to be the metaverse potential risk. There are still many uncertainties in the embryonic metaverse, and industries and markets need to return to rationality. Opinion bubble. Irrational public opinion bubble is there. It will create eco-irrational stock market volatility. Hazard pressure. How to ensure the stability of cloud computing, low-cost computing power resources, and many other problems remain to be solved. Economic risk. The economic risk can spill over from the virtual to the real world. What if you lose too much of cryptocurrencies, you go bankrupt in virtual world? What about its physical implications? That is the example of economic risk. Ethical constraints. How to construct the ethical framework consensus of the metaverse in a decentralized framework. It needs to be addressed and explored. Addicted or addiction to the risk. Excessive immersion in virtual world can exacerbate the psychological problems like social anxiety, alienation, and there are very many psychiatric issues that can come up. Monopoly tension. That is another potential risk. Competition among the giants determine the relatively close nature of the ecology, and it is difficult to achieve complete openness and decentralization, which is the very basic ingredients of the or characteristics of the metaverse: openness, decentralization. How industry is going to evolve? Conceptual breakthroughs have not fundamentally changed the status quo of the industrial revolution. There is going to be privacy risk. Yes, metaverse where there are continuous operation in metaverse, there is going to be individual data needs to be updated, expanded constantly. Compliance, collection, storage, and management of data resources remains to be discussed. So privacy risk is there. And intellectual property. Multi-agent collaboration and adaptation applications across the entire virtual real boundary. It is going to lead to disputes over production rights and IP related issues. I'll skip this slides. How metaverse is making money: e-commerce, health and fitness, workplace, education, gaming. The essential of metaverse gaming, like use of real-time data, 3D world, collectible items with real-world value, VR and AR technology. These are very many players like Roblox, Fortnite. They are all players and they are playing their part. Uh, Again, this is a fun slide after this much heavy tech discussion. What is everyone saying about the metaverse? Uh, we are running short of time, so NVIDIA Jensen says it's a virtual world that is the digital twin of ours. Mark Zuckerberg says the metaverse will be successor to the mobile internet. We'll be able to feel present like we are right there with people, no matter how apart we are actually. Uh, Satya Nadella from Microsoft says he's CEO of Microsoft. He says you and I will be sitting on a conference room table soon with our avatars or our holograms or even 2D surfaces with surround audio. Bob from who is CEO of Disney, he says, suffice is to say our efforts to date are merely a prologue to a time when we will be able to connect the physical and digital world even more closely, allowing for storytelling without boundaries in our own Disney metaverse. Adobe, there's a statement from Matthew Ball also. So this is Roblox metaverse, variety, economy. Let us skip. Uh, these are specific statements from Jensen, like a 3D extension of the internet today with an economy much larger than the real world economy. These are statements from Satya Nadella. He says with the metaverse, the entire world becomes your app canvas. Very big statement. Technology that connects the real world with the digital world is going to be the meta world. So again, these are statements. How will metaverse change the business? The metaverse will enhance the user experience in the customer journey. Digital twins will change how consumers interact with businesses. Digital twins can help businesses make more accurate and data-driven strategic decisions. Digital models can support service personalization. And these are some of the photographs, the actual photographs, events, conferences, summits, classes, trainings, workshops using the Meta platforms, meetings, collaborations, presentations using the Meta platforms. Now we again come to 7 layers of the metaverse. Friends, I have kept it intentionally here. We already discussed these 7 layers. Experience, discovery, creator economy, infrastructure, decentralization, human interface, spatial computing. Out of this, now onwards, we'll discuss creator economy, human interface, spatial training, immersive experience as the components or constituents of metaverse. So this is for creator economy. Creator economy here has this understanding. So there are creators in the creator economy. And what we try to understand, what is a creator economy? In internet, nowadays you call influencer marketing. People who run their own shows, their tweets through their tweets, blogs, YouTube videos, they drive the economy, the marketing strategy. They are called influencers, influencer marketing. Likewise, in meta world, we will have creator economy. So here it's a creator era. Creators and makers did not require any programming obstruction to show them down. The number of creators saw a spike. That's the second stage. The third stage, creator-centric platforms were developed and mass democratization would be observed. And then you will reach the peak of creator economy. Tools, content, and technologies were made available to the creators to transform the processes. And the process will create the code-centered procedures to artistically driven processes. So how does the creator economy work? It will work in meta world. The creators gain an audience trust and attention with consistent content. That is number one. Number two, on the follower part, followers turn into consumers who purchase from them. That's the consumer part. And what about the digital tools? Developers will create tools to enable the monetization, which will drive the entire wheel of creator economy. So creator marker fit is the union between ABC, audience, business, and content creation. Now, what is the mantra with audience? Create something that people want. Consumer centric economy, consumer driven economic processes. What is content? Well, making the content, do I enjoy making it? And what is going to be the business model? Can I sustain myself? This is going to be the ABC of creator market fit. Now, once you understand this, creator economy will have this many, the tip jar, the brand deals, online classes, direct sales, subscription based funding, and service offerings. Now, once you understand this, the marketeer's primary goals when working with creators. So if you are a marketeer and you are working with the creator as part of the creative economy of your industry or organization, 41% says promote our brand's values, 60% reach new audiences, 42% drive the revenue up, generate more engagement, reduce content creation burden, change audience perception of our brand, and strengthen our community on social media. The second constituent or component of this metaverse is the human interface. So let us try to understand the user interface versus the human interface. So user interface is 50-year-old construct fit for 20th century computing. What is human interface? For the pervasive digital environment of the 21st century. User interface is up close to the machine. UI is up close to the machine. HI up close to the individual. UI, it is designed for an average user. UI, HI, created uniquely for the individual. Personalization. UI is for organization. HI, other way, it is for the individuals. UI, the user must fit to the machine. Fits the products to the individual. That is the motto of HI. UI provides interactive information. HI enables knowledge building. That's where training, immersive experience has richness and value addition. It enables knowledge building. That's why so many YouTube videos where a medical student is given the headset gear and he goes through the entire operation or the anatomy of human body, or an engineering student is given the headset or some kind of experience where he goes through the entire working of the machine as if he's inside the machine and observing all the parts and their moving and friction and all this. That's why we say enables knowledge building. UI has degrees of awkwardness. HI is ideal and so it disappears. Largely static design, dynamic in the moment design. User interface, it is the interface is the product. And in HI, the product is the product. Now, once we understand this, the human interface has three major which is centered around the emotion part, passion, creativity, and empathy. And that's what we mean by. That's where the left part of the slide says how the individual professional wearing his device is engaged, and this engagement says the human interface. In the next 2 decades, computers won't be able to beat us on these three pure human skills. And the good news is customer will love them. Passion, creativity, and empathy. It is going to be the empathy driven model which will trigger the emotion in a right context. And these are some of the pictures where you can see how you build the human interface, how you can see the engagement and you can see the knowledge building exercise. Same, a student, as I give you the example, is trying to understand the working of a machine as if he is part of the machine, as if he is watching the machine in front of him, though he is sitting on his desk. Now we have 3 minutes left, so I conclude the first session here. Digital twin, there are a couple of components to be discussed that we'll discuss tomorrow. We keep the we'll start from this slide uh, next day, and we'll try to finish the remaining part of this presentation and the applications and use cases, which is my presentation part 2 tomorrow. So thank you for your patient listening, and I open this forum for question answer sessions. I hope you enjoyed the session. You can give the best of your critics and critical comments in the chats also. Yes, I can see some of the questions. How Metaverse help to work with global users? Can you please explain with example? Yes, I already told you that it is the same shift as if you are working on one project and you are working on the Google Docs or shared presentation. If you extend this understanding uh, very far, you can understand like uh, you are working, you are in a meeting and there are 4 doctors who are discussing the surgery in one meeting, and they can use the best of the VR or rather the mixed reality experience to discuss the next heart surgery. Or you are professionals with science, and some of your friends are very far and you are discussing the next wave of some earth parameters, uh, galactic experiences, or also you can discuss by having the immersive experience through your gear heads. So these are some of the so yes, Metaverse has full potential to make you a global user. And through immersive experiences, whether you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are a creative person, you are a working professional, you can collaborate with your friends who are geographically dispersed across the globe. How space and time related to Metaverse? A very interesting question. Yes. Albert Einstein once said that if you are sitting on some hot seat, even 5 minutes would be 50 minutes for you. So when you are engrossed in your meta experience, for you the time will go very softly and swiftly. But when you move out of that meta experience and you return to your physical world, it will have a different understanding of time. Same is with space, because I have my own physical world around me. But when I dwell into metaverse, that meta experience, the better word is immersive experience. That immersive experience will give me a different space. And this space won't be 3D space. It would be multi-dimensional space. As a sea explorer, I can touch the seabed. As an academician, I can collaborate with 500 students spread across the globe. As a surgeon, I can touch and feel the human body, which I'm operating remotely. So that's where space and time. I hope I have answered your question. Which software used for Metaverse? Uh, Sir, there are many companies, Roblox, Second Life. These are many platforms which have given some exposure. Uh, Naming one specific software, because in Metaverse, the idea is to make it platform agnostic, brand agnostic. So you can explore, but there are many, as I said, Second Life, Decentraland, and tomorrow also we'll see many applications where the softwares will be mentioned. Another question is AI, XR, blockchain, IoT. This technology mentioned in the PPT are platform combinations of these technologies is known as metaverse, or is something built on single platform can be called a metaverse. It's neither of them. What I said is enabling technologies. So it is going to be the win-win situation. It is more of the hand holding this. Some of them are infrastructural technology like 5G, 6G, cloud, edge computing, blockchain, decentralization. If I want to realize decentralized economy, DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and financial autonomy in metaverse, blockchain is going to be the core technology. IoT. Sir, can I realize metaverse without reaching people, data, processes, and things? And when I say things, IoT has its role. So it's a clear case where metaverse will help this technology to mature and evolve and emerge. And these technologies will help metaverse to evolve, emerge, and grow. And that's why I say it's a golden handshake. So I cannot say that some of them are core technologies, some of them are enabling technologies, some of them are evolving technologies. So they will evolve. Vis-a-vis, metaverse will evolve. Metaverse will evolve and progress. Vis-a-vis, this technology like blockchain, XR, IoT will evolve. And that's why it's as layers which are supporting each other. I hope I answered your question. How to improve consumer metaverse graph? Yes, very, very peculiar question. Consumer graph. So the graph fundamentals can be addressed using metaverse technology. So the reach, the consumer reach, the consumer experience, the consumer involvement can be enabled using immersive experience, blockchain technology, and supporting technology. I think I have answered all the questions. We look forward to see you tomorrow with the remaining part of this presentation, and we also try to address the remaining part of my second presentation, that is nothing but metaverse applications and use cases. Thank you very much. I thank organizers. I thank all the audience and everybody who were very patient. I hope you found this entire session very enriching experience, and we look forward to see you tomorrow with more content. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving the insight of metaverse and very good understanding that how space and time are related with the metaverse. So thank you once more times. We will meet tomorrow with the second part of this presentations, metaverse, its applications, fundamentals. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.